KREM 2 News 10 at 10 begins now with Mark Henrahan and Jeremy Legoo.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. Let's get started, and we begin tonight with a weather impact alert as high winds are expected to sweep through the inland northwest early tomorrow morning. Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo live at the Weather Center tonight with more on the timing of the wind and its potential impact. Jeremy?
Mark, when it comes to the wind, it starts long before we wake up. I think the event starts at about 4 a.m. and continues through the middle of the day. Wind advisories are in effect from 4 a.m. to 1 p.m. tomorrow. A bulk of that wind is going to be of the gust strength that we're talking minor damages, broken tree limbs, things tossed about that aren't secured, that kind of thing. Not full-on trees toppling, although that isn't entirely out of the question. It's something we are going to keep a close eye on, but seriously, look at this. Overnight, wind stays pretty calm, but by tomorrow morning, by 5 a.m., you're going to notice it. By 8 a.m., we're talking bigger impacts from that wind. 38 degrees where we sit right now, and temperatures are nice and warm. I said our high today would be 38, and that high would occur at midnight. That is where we are on the backside of our first round of moisture. This round moves out tomorrow morning. We'll wake up to another round of it. Moves up into the mountains by late morning and out by the afternoon. I think we see sunshine tomorrow thanks to all that wind. But look at the temps, 46 degrees before they start dropping.
All right, sounds good, Jeremy. We'll check back in with you later in the show. Let's get another check on the pass conditions tonight. Chains are required over Stevens and Blewett passes. Traction tires required over White Pass, and they're advised over Snoqualmie Pass. Heavy snow and freezing rain turned I-90 into a slippery mess, catching many drivers off guard. WSP is stressing the importance of checking conditions before you head over the passes right now, especially with a big holiday travel weekend ahead.
Cars that spin out, or a truck that spins out, blocks a lane or two, the plows can't get through. So then we end up having to close the roadway down.
Officials warned that the snow will turn into freezing rain, so if you have to drive, be prepared for an icy commute. Covering North Idaho tonight, Coeur d'Alene City Council passed an updated county emergency operations plan, but one sentence in that plan is drawing a lot of reaction. KREM 2's Connor McAvoy went to the council meeting tonight and brings us more.
The emergency operations plan is causing some concern for Kootenai County residents tonight. It says anyone who refuses a government-ordered evacuation may be arrested. In the more than 200-page document, county emergency management officials mapped out different emergency situations and agencies who respond to them. During a governor-ordered evacuation, local law enforcement has the ability to arrest someone who doesn't comply. That didn't sit well with Paul Van Noy, the senior pastor of Candlelight Christian Fellowship in Coeur d'Alene.
Always have things in order, a plan to keep our people safe. The problem with what we've just heard is that there is too much vague language.
Van Noy argues the ability to arrest someone who refuses to leave their home in an evacuation is not something officials should have authority on. Councilman Kenny Gabriel with District 4 says that statement is an insignificant part of the entire plan as a whole.
And I think that's such a very small part of the plan. It's like one sentence that says may be arrested.
Chief of Police Lee White says the ability to arrest someone refusing a governor-ordered evacuation is still up to the jurisdiction's law enforcement.
There's laws on the books that officers have the discretion whether or not to make an arrest or write a report or take any action that we exercise daily.
Chief White emphasizes the police department is not intending on arresting someone who would refuse to leave their property. Van Noy says that's not enough.
Even when we have commitment from, let's say, present officials who make commitments to, for example, say, well, we're not going to arrest anybody. We don't know what the future holds.
Its authority, County Emergency Management says, has and is still active. Van Noy says he's going to try and change it.
I'll be talking to the county commissioners, and I'm going to, of course, talk to our senators. I'm going to be doing some homework on this all the way up to Boise, or down, shall I say, to Boise. And so we're going to have to change this from the state level.
Connor McAvoy, KREM 2 News.
In national news tonight, police are working to understand what led to a deadly shooting at a private Christian school in Madison, Wisconsin. One student and one teacher were killed and a half a dozen others were injured. Police say a 15-year-old girl was the shooter. She was found with a gunshot wound later and pronounced dead. Right now, police say they are unsure where the teen got the gun, but they are searching through belongings from her house and utilizing social media for any possible answers.
At this time, it appears that the motive was a combination of factors. We're talking to students to understand whether bullying was one of those multiple factors.
The shooting has President Joe Biden calling for stricter gun laws, which could include universal background checks and a national red flag law. The two NASA astronauts stranded after Boeing's Starliner capsule was forced to return unmanned. They will have to stay in space even longer now. Their mission just got extended to the spring. Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams traveled to the space station back in June. They were supposed to return 8 to 10 days later, but multiple issues with the Starliner forced them to stay on the ISS. That launch is now scheduled for no earlier than late March. And now to our night beat with a quick look at today's top stories. A man accused of using his car in a smash and grab burglary at a Spokane Valley strip club is once again in trouble with the law. Cesar Ruiz was arrested in January of 2023 after officers caught him breaking into the Deja Vu strip club on Sprague. Deputies say he used his Jeep to smash through the front door, where he then tried to steal the ATM. The sheriff's office says he managed to make off with a cash register. He was released without bond in that case, but was arrested Monday after police say he and a group of men threatened to kill a man. Witnesses said Ruiz shot a gun while standing outside the victim's home on North Atlantic Street.
This conduct shows no regard for public safety or for prior court orders.
And we're fortunate that nobody got injured as a result of the firearm being discharged.
Ruiz is sitting in the Spokane County Jail tonight. His bond has been set at $25,000. Today, Spokane County Commissioners voted on a 1-month contract extension with the current medical vendor, NAFCare. The $687,000 extension expires at the end of January. County spokesperson Patrick Bell said that's to give the county time to negotiate a new contract for jail medical services. Bell says it doesn't necessarily mean NAFCare won't be the vendor after negotiations are done. The decision on the new vendor is expected next month. NAFCare, by the way, provides medical care for several jails across the state and has been at the center of lawsuits over inmate injuries and even deaths, including the death of a Spokane County inmate in 2022. After months of short staffing, the Spirit Lake Police Department is bringing in reinforcements. For the past several months, Spirit Lake only had 1 police officer. Since then, Chief Mike Moreland has grown the force to 8 full-time officers and 3 in reserve. Chief Moreland said recruitment and retention proved to be a challenge.
When we're competing with other agencies, especially over in Washington, when you cross the state line, they're making as much as $10 more an hour.
With the help of the mayor and city council, Chief Moreland was able to increase entry-level salary and bumped up lateral officer hires to a $27 an hour rate. Moreland says they are still looking to hire more officers. And that was your night beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just head to our website. That's KREM.com. The Kootenai County Sheriff's Office is continuing to search for a missing woman tonight. 65-year-old Sharon Davidson hasn't been seen since December 14th. Deputies say she is 5 feet 7 inches tall, about 130 pounds, with blonde hair and blue eyes. She was last seen near her home on Cougar Gulch Road. It's believed she's on foot and not dressed for the weather. So if you have any information, you are urged to call that number right there at the bottom of your screen. New tonight, the Hurricane Ridge Day Lodge in Olympic National Park will be rebuilt. Senator Patty Murray says full federal funding has been secured as part of a disaster supplemental package. That lodge burned down in 2023 while undergoing renovations. The funding will be used to fully redesign and rebuild the lodge, as well as put up interim facilities. The total cost is estimated at $80 million. And that was your KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where you get more news in less time.